Welcome to part 2 of putting massive discs on your MT-07. If you missed the first part and you want to go back and quickly catch up so you know what I'm talking about, then here's a link for it. I started thinking about this upgrade after I put a turbo on. It was quite apparent after adding so much torque and acceleration that the power of the brakes needed some attention. If you're going to increase the fun factor on your bike, make sure you can stop before you hit a wall, or a car, or a cat. Where did my research lead me? A larger disc moves the caliper further out from the axle, which gives it more leverage. Or is it leverage? Leverage? It gives it one of them. So you're basically getting more torque for the same hand squeeze. Bigger discs equals bigger mass, which should reduce brake fade. And even though the braking area, the place where your pads go, is exactly the same size, because the outer diameter is bigger, more surface area. It's supposed to feel sharper at the lever, and if it does, that'd make me happier. I did read if you want the best kind of feel out of this that you should upgrade the master cylinder and the calipers, but I just wanted better for now. These discs do feel heavier than the OEM ones, which is obviously going to add unsprung weight and rotational mass to the front end, which should negatively affect steering and suspension response. But I'll let you know how much I notice that. As far as upgrades goes, this is probably the easiest one I've ever done. You just put this bracket onto your brake stays. Are they called stays on motorbikes? I think they're called bosses. On BMX they were called stays. Mine came with titanium bolts. I can only assume that this is for a weight thing and not a strength thing. I did assemble this with the wheel in, which is because you can't get your wheel to fit in anymore. It is actually quite tricky to get your brake calipers onto the disc. You just have to open your pads quite wide and it does slot on. But yeah, there's no way you're getting it off, the wheel off with the calipers on. You can leave the brackets in though, that doesn't cause a problem. Just the calipers. On this side of the bike, if you've got the ABS version, you can no longer get the bracket to fit because of the bolt going into the brake caliper. But it's not a big deal. Like as you can see, I just got these pliers and give it a bit of a persuasion until it fitted in. Like it doesn't affect the operation of anything. And it was pretty easy to bend this bracket. I'm not exactly the strongest guy in the world. And it just routed the cable up exactly the same as the OEM one. The brake cable has to run slightly different. I don't know if you was doing this with the OEM lines, whether that would cause you a problem. The Hell one's like really rigid, so it just stays where you put it, and then it just joins up with the metal ABS line on top of the mudguard, just like the OEM one. You'll probably notice that on this bit of the video, my discs are in brand new condition, and then at the beginning and the end of the video, they're no longer in brand new condition. I've probably done about 4,000 miles on these discs now. I'm sorry about the lens as well. It's a bit fucked, but I'm pretty sure I recorded this bit of this video around the time when I high-sided my bike, and it's completely screwed the lens in the camera. But obviously I was undetermined by this and was going to crack on regardless. It's not exactly the end of the world anyway. You can still see that I'm an idiot. I didn't Loctite any of these bolts in, as the service manual doesn't tell you to Loctite the bolts in for the front brake calipers, so I assumed it was the same for the brackets. I don't know whether this is correct or not. I've never had it undone in all of the time I've rode though, and I did check it every now and then, and I did put a paint marker on it just to be sure. On this side of the bike, I didn't need to alter the bracket at all. One of the lines does fit into the OEM bracket, and the other line works the same as the other side. So it just connects into that metal ABS line across the fairing. So what do I think? Was it a worthwhile upgrade? I definitely think so. It didn't cost the earth. Looking online, 140 quid. I think I paid about 90 quid at the time because I've had them a little while now. If you're interested in these, I'll stick them in the description. I'll put a link in for you. So overall, what happened? My braking is definitely improved. You do get more bite feeling in the lever as you pull it. You don't have to pull it as hard, but you can. And let's face it, it's always good when you can pull it hard. With the point on the unsprung weight and steering differences, I can't notice a difference, but that could just be a riding skill level. Like, I'm not saying I don't rag my bike about, but it's not like I'm a track rider or anything like that. So maybe they could notice a difference, but I can't. I guess it is worth mentioning, I do have cartridges in my forks. Like, my forks have been quite upgraded over the OEM. You might notice more of a difference on OEM forks. I would say simply, it feels better than what it used to. Feels like I can stop faster than I used to. It feels like I've got more control than I used to. And that's about all I've got to say on the matter. I hope you enjoyed a little chat on upgrading the brakes. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer if I can. And I'll catch you in a bit.